Hopefully this is working. Let me see. Wait. Okay, I think hey, Jen Nichols, how are you? Hi. Hey, Griselda. Hey, Vicky, how are you? Good morning. Oh, right, it's early for you, Vicky. You're like 3 hours before us. I forget about that. I thought I'd come on early today because it's Sunday and I'm feeling super lazy. I need to get out of bed. I mean, I've been out of bed, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It feels really slow today. I don't know if anybody else feels it. I know the moon went into Pisces last night, so maybe I'm feeling a little bit dreamy. I'm not sure what's going on, but I am just sort of slow to go. And I'm like, if I'm going to do a charming tonight, it may not happen. So I'm like, I think it's time to get on now while I still have like a pulse because I just feel real Lowellsville. Hey Mary, hey Yvette, hi Christina. I'm good. How are you? I want to get a reading this week. That's perfect, Jen. You can definitely reach out and contact me and we can set it up. That's fine. Oh, nice to meet you, Yvette. I'm glad you're new here. Welcome. Hey Christina Davis, how are you, dear? Yeah, I'm just sort of all right. I'm gonna switch cameras so I can see you. Well, so you guys can see me. I think I'm like gonna see you guys. It's so weird. Let's see here. I was setting up the camera because I was out. Okay, sorry. I had to dye my hair black because it was too red from the last time I dyed it. It was kind of gross, and then it went way too dark. So don't mind me. Anyways, how are you guys? Isn't it nap time now? I'm dragging. I took a nap already. Like I got up at 6 a.m. without an alarm, which I do almost every day now. It's really weird. I wake up super early and then I'm totally unshaven. I'm still in my pajamas. It's just a really lazy day. Like the vibe feels really kind of sleepy to me. And so it's only 12:30 my time, but it feels like it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I think that's also another reason why I wanted to get on and do the charming. If you look over my shoulder, my pendulum showcase is starting to take effect. I have all my pendulums hanging here and labeled with tags. I'll have more hanging here. I have them on my desk still, but I have them here in their little pendulum library. It's very cool. I'm excited about that. My little foray at Michael's Crafts did me well, got me a little bit more organized. So I thought I would get on while I feel somewhat coherent. I shot yesterday, I mean, not yesterday's. I ran today's video that I shot yesterday. And then this morning at like before 7 a.m., I filmed for tomorrow, which is on Patreon, right, for the daily forecast. So I did all of that this morning. I did my normal morning routine. I go to a little meeting thing that I do. And then I did that. And then I was listening to, today was a call-in with one of the teachers that I go to, one of the sort of metaphysical study groups that I go to. And I listened to him and I climbed back in bed with the dogs and I fell back asleep. So I don't know. It just feels very lousy and really kind of slow today. So I thought I would get up and try and get going, try and do this charming thing. I don't know if anybody's going to get charmings today, but I have tried to make a commitment to be on every Sunday. This is earlier than normal, but I thought, why not try it and see it as a Sunday? It is a pandemic. We should all be home and available. Those of you that aren't and are out there working, more power to you. Bless you for going out into this world. Maybe tomorrow or later today, I was thinking, just so that I don't have to use any psychic faculties, I might open the Lenormand cards I got because I want to get started with those, but I have no idea about how Lenormand works. So I thought if anything, I felt inspired to do that later tonight. I might do that where that doesn't require me to sort of be, mentally sort of present and available. What are you guys up to this Sunday? What are you guys doing? Tell me. Anything good going on for you guys? And Jen, if you're still here, I don't know if you're still here on YouTube, but you can cash in your charming today if you want. If you're free and available. You might be busy with the family, though. I know you have kids and stuff, so. I am early today, Christina. I thought I would try it early. I don't know. I just have a feeling like tonight. Last night I went to bed at like 9:30. It was really weird. So that might explain why I was up so early. But I was just really tired by like 9 o'clock. I found myself like I actually put the dogs. I took them out at 8:45 for their final walk, like their final outing for the night, which is early for us. We usually go anytime after 9:30, 10 o'clock for their final pee, tour around before bed. And last night it was at 8:45. I was like, y'all, we better go out now because daddy's ready for bed. Work, home, then work again at 5. Do you have 2 different jobs, Christina? Of course, he's chewing his bone right underneath my chair because it tastes better there. Getting ready for work is what I'm doing today. That would do it early to bed, early to rise, LOL. Yeah, no, but sometimes I get up at 6 a.m. It doesn't matter what time I go to bed. Even if I stay up late, I'm still up at 6 a.m. Oh, somebody found a really noisy toy too. Oh, you did. I thought that was a ball. I mean, I thought that was your bone. It's actually the squeaky ball. Where'd you find the squeaky ball? Huh? Where'd you find it? Where'd you find it? Yeah? Get it. Get it. Get it. Go get it. Now he doesn't understand the concept of how a ball plays. Oh, in-home care. Hey, Elsie Daniels, how are you? YouTube has had you hidden from me. I haven't been able to find you. How weird. I don't know why that would be. In-home care is hard work, Christina. Me and my dogs are a great match. Pretty much. I love them. I'm actually contemplating getting a 4th one. I don't know. I might be insane. There's one, if I'm being completely honest, there's a bulldog at the rescue in Austin, and she looks exactly like Gus, but she's a girl. And so I'm kind of like, I filled out an application. I mean, she would be a rescue, so she's about just only, I think, a year old or maybe under 2 years old. Gus is now 4 or will be 4 in May. So this year he'll be 4. And then the other 2 are going to be, I believe, 8 years old respectively. Or are they turning 9? God, I have no memory. This year has been so rough. 2020 was so rough on me. I have no memory. But I think that they're 8. They're each turning 8 in July and August, Bodhi and Tallulah. So I don't know. I want to meet her and see. I feel bad for Gus sometimes because I feel like he's so much younger than the other 2. And Bodhi plays with him sometimes, but Tallulah just doesn't. She's like not, she sort of just doesn't. She's like an old lady, which is fine. She's allowed to be an old lady. We're all old ladies around here. I am certainly. But sometimes I feel like Gus needs a companion, somebody to play with. So I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Yesterday, productive around the house. Today, hermit mode. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. We'll see, though. I still have to conduct the interview and stuff. I don't know. A lot of my channels have been missing. Just finished my 312s, so I'm just going to sit. Awesome. Elsie, have a seat. Have a rest, dear. Hi, Christine. How are you? Welcome to the page. I think we now have 3. We have 2 Christinas and a Christine in the room, so you guys might get a little confused of who I'm referring to. But I'm saying hello to Christine Peggs, who says she's new here. And Christina is saying good idea. Are you saying good idea about the 4th dog, Christina? Well, my thing is like I see Gus kind of as my I'm really glad that I got him, even though I got him way later. The other 2 were about, I guess they were 5, so they're going to be 9 this year. They're both going to be 9 this year. I got them when they were each 5, and because they're only a month apart, my 2 oldest. And then Gus came in 5 years later, and he blended right in with the olders. They were still young enough to kind of deal with him and he adopt him in. And they're still really friendly dogs, don't get me wrong. But I'm glad I got Gus, because if and when these other two start to really get aged and maybe have to, go over the Rainbow Bridge, I'm glad Gus is with me, because I'm going to be a mess. Like, I don't even want to think about it. I just know I'm going to be a mess. And so, Gus will be like probably the thing that helps get me through all of this, the focal point that I'll need. And so I'm kind of thinking that, but then that'll leave poor Gus by himself, right? I mean, he'll have me and I'll have him and we won't be alone. But I kind of feel like Gus is used to being in this pack since being a baby. He was born into a litter, then he came to our house and he went right into a pack of dogs, right? Into two other dogs. And so he's always been a member of a pack. And so I'm kind of thinking that what happens to Gus if Bodhi and Tallulah were to, pass over, Gus will be left alone with me. And I'm part of the pack, don't get me wrong. But maybe Gus needs a little friend. I don't know. It's this weird, crazy thought. But then that's a whole nother commitment, because this dog is now 2 years younger than Gus. So, but she's chocolate brown. She looks just like Gus, like chocolate tricolor, just like Gus's coloring and everything. So they look like twins, similar to how Bodhi and Tallulah are twins. So I would have two sets of twin bulldogs in a way. That is my Pisces, that Pisces heart, girl. That is my my Pisces Venus. Jen Nichols. Not to be confused with my Pisces penis, which I have one of those too. I feel weird today. Like, I feel like swoony, kind of like sort of like dreamy and weird, like out of it. I hope I can even charm today, if I'm being honest. That's why I'm on so early. I'm like, I better get these charmings done before, like, I don't know. I just feel kind of out of body or something weird. It's sort of strange. I don't know. I hope these are good charmings. We'll see. Yeah, so that's what's been going on with me. I'm starting to fear, for those of you that know about the turtles, I have turtles, right, that I had gotten, tortoises, tortoise, I don't know what you call them. And they're still as charming as ever, but I'm starting to get worried because I've been watching videos about their breed and they get really big. And I'm like, oh shit, what did I sign up for? And I'm starting to get nervous that maybe I made a mistake, because they're also burrowing animals. And I don't want these tortoises burrowing under the house or under the fence and I'm like, did I make a mistake? I live in like sort of suburban neighborhoodville. Like, I don't think that this is the place for these tortoises. I'm starting to second guess it. So I don't know. I'm nervous about that too. It's not a bad thing. I mean, they're fine. They're tiny right now, but they will get bigger in the next year or two. And I'm sort of like, oh shit, did I really think this through? So I know, Lisa. I that's part of like what fascinated me about them and excited me. But then I'm thinking, like, I've got two of them. On top of that, I live in like a normal suburban neighborhood, like not anything by any means where they have like space to tear up the ground. And so I'm kind of like, where the hell would they burrow to? And I can live in all these. Oh, great! That ball's going to be my favorite thing today. The thing that makes me most nervous is I could give them a ton of like, what is that, Timothy hay to maybe like bury themselves in, on top of like, say, I have a shed outside that I could insulate and make into like a little turtle house, and give them a ton of Timothy hay in hopes that they'll burrow under the hay and not try and dig into the ground. But there's no guarantees of that. And that's their natural state. Like, that's what they do, like to feel safe, to breed, to do all of that. And then I'm thinking, is it rather selfish of me to assume or try and prevent them from doing what in their natural state they would do, right? And so right now they're too tiny and they don't have an area to burrow. So they burrow under the Timothy hay in this little house that I have, like a little igloo structure that they climb into and burrow under the hay in there. And they do that a lot, which is fine. And it gives me hope that they might do that in a shed, but there's no guarantees. And it's like, that's not really fair to the turtles. Tortoise is. So, and mine burrows into the house. Yeah, and that's what I don't want them doing. Like, that's dangerous for like the foundation, all of that sort of stuff. And I'm like, and I've been watching videos of like, people like how they get their turtles out of the burrows. And I'm like, I can't do that. like by myself with a shovel, I could dig it out, but I don't know that I could lift the tortoise up out of the burrow if I needed it for, like, say, a medical emergency or any of that sort of stuff. I'm like not very like, I mean, I have the dogs and I move them around, but they're like only 60 pounds. These things get to be about 80 to 100. And they're just huge. Like, so I'm kind of like, what did I sign up for? I think the reality is setting in. So now I have to think about the reality of a fourth dog. Well, if you want to even want to rehome them, I know of someone who could help in Florida. Oh, that's good to know. Is that the Camp Kenan guy? Are you talking about him? Because I watch his videos all the time about, he has that whole farm in Florida with the all the different reptiles. They already have sulcatas. Well, that's the other thing too, Lisa, is like, I don't know. These are from the same litter, or I guess, or clutch, you would call them. And so I don't know. I have a feeling that one might be male and one might be female, only because one is getting like significantly larger and the other one is sort of staying a little bit more smaller in size. Like, it makes me feel like maybe one's a brother, one's a sister, and I don't want them to breed. Like, I'm a little bit nervous about that. Like, year one, they're under the house having, incestuous turtle sex, and next thing I know, I'm overrun with sulcatas. Oh, some of your family that lives in the Panhandle. Well, that's a possibility. I have a brother in Florida, so I actually, once things sort of calm down pandemic-wise, I need to drive out there and visit him, because it's been a year and I need to see him, like, just to get some time in his presence. And so I don't really, I'm kind of unclear on what I want to do. I love them, like, and they're brilliant to watch and bathe and feed, and they're so cute and all of that. But in watching more and more videos about what later life with this particular breed of tortoise is about, it looks like something I don't know that I can handle, in the sense that even if they were, say they didn't even burrow near the house, maybe they burrow underneath the fence. How do I get them out? If they had like a medical emergency, how do I get them to the vet? How do I get them up in the car? Like, these are things that, like, these turtles are big. Plus, the other thing that bugs me about them, not bugs me, but worries me, is that they live much longer than humans. Like, they live to like 100. It's not uncommon. So it's like, I'm already 47. Like, I don't have 100 years to make sure that these turtles are okay. So luckily mine is okay under the house, but when he burrowed under the pathway to the house, it was an issue. Yeah. So these are things that I'm kind of like, and I live with like neighbors close by. Like, I can't have these guys digging under the fence into the neighbors' yards and creating chaos for the neighbors. That's a whole other thing about this, is if like they burrow under the fence and like create a burrow that's on the neighbor's land, I could be in trouble. And then you have an escapee. Yeah. And the crazy thing is I got them like locally from somebody local here who had a whole bunch of them. There could be like wild sulcatas running around all around this area. Who knows? Because I believe that they breed periodically, like every year or something. So I kind of got the feeling that these guys are like pumping out sulcatas. And I was like, oh my God, where are all these turtles going? They had something like 14 of them or something. I will, Lisa. Thank you. Are you in the group over on Engelgeist group, just so I can find you in there? Or if you could direct message me, if you can find my Facebook, my personal Facebook, just so I have a connection to you so I can find you. I may talk to you about that, because I don't know how much time I have before they start to get really big. It would be one thing if they didn't start digging, but I've also been watching videos where they say that they don't dig for a while and that everybody thought that they were fine. And then like by year 4, all of a sudden they dug. And the next thing you knew, they were like deep in the ground under the house. And like it happened in a day. And I was like, oh God, I don't know if I can deal with that. Okay, cool. All right, so let's get to charmings. We'll get off the tortoise. I don't even know if tortoise is a word, but I'm going to use it today. And we will do charmings today. Lisa Vanderhelm came in. Lisa, did you want to get your charming today? And Jen, are you getting yours today? Anybody, actually, if anybody purchases a Charming today, it comes with a free tortoise. Just kidding. Kidding. I don't know. I think I might have not thought this one through. I thought, oh, tortoises, I didn't realize they got to be so big until like I started researching it right after I got them, and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And now they're really cute. Like I'm enamored with them, but the reality is I don't think that I have the space or the capacity for them here. Score. Christina says, score. Yes, tortoise. I mean, you kind of need like a farm for these guys, or like at least an acre of land, I would think, at least, just so that they can mosey around and dig a hole somewhere and not be in the way or not hurt anything. Hey, Sharon Hazel, how are you, dear? So I'm just looking for either Jen Nichols or Lisa Vanderhelm. I think both of them are here. Lisa said she might cash in her Charming today. I don't know if she's going to. If anybody's interested in purchasing a Charming, just let me know. I can put the link in the chat. If any of you are following me on Facebook and don't know about my YouTube channel, please feel free. Let me pull this up for you really quick. Let me find this. Sorry, one moment. I love how it sends me a live about my own stuff that I'm doing. That's so funny. One second, I'm just deleting these emails. I want to find my link. If you guys are watching me on Facebook and you don't know about my YouTube channel, please feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Every day there's a daily forecast video for the Greater Collective. That means anybody who watches it is supposed to see it or intended to see it. It's written or created for you. And it's there for your enjoyment. I will give you that in this link here that I'm digging out of my email really quick. So that is the link there. In there is the link to the YouTube channel. So for those of you that are new to Facebook, I see some people coming in going, oh, hi, I'm new. Well, if you go over to the Facebook or to the YouTube channel, there's today's video for the week. There's like a ton of cards up there. So there's a free reading there. There's also the monthly horoscopes that will be going up. I'm waiting right now until like maybe a day or two more until we shift into the sign of Aquarius. And then I'll start with Aquarius and work my way through the signs. And that will be for February's horoscope. So those will be coming soon for all of those of you that, whatever your signs are in. So you can subscribe to the YouTube channel over there. There's plenty of free readings over there. Tonight or today is Charming Day. So Sundays is Charmings. We do Charming readings. You're certainly more than welcome to sit and watch, stay and watch. Sometimes people glean information from other people's Charmings. That's completely fine and acceptable. But these are here. They're $25 each. If you want to purchase one, the link for PayPal is in there. If you do send me money, please let me know in the chat so that I know not to shut off the video and stop the Charmings and I go off and you've paid me. If you need to, I think also the Facebook business page link is in that link tree. You can follow the Facebook business page there. I broadcast live to there and the YouTube channel. And you can also message me there if you're interested in a private reading and ask any questions about that and how that works. So that's all there for you. Does he see? I see you now, Lisa. I only see this one that says, does he see my messages? So I'm not sure if you've been messaging before that, Lisa. For those of you that don't know who I'm talking to somebody over on YouTube. For those of you, there seems to be more people on Facebook than on YouTube. But it looks like my two YouTubers are, maybe their messages. Oh, past life. Okay. All right. So Lisa's got a past life. I don't know. Jen might have gotten caught up with her family. I'm not sure. I thought she said she was going to get, it's okay, Lisa. I like to watch too. I thought it was she was getting her headset so that she could do a reading, but I don't know. We'll see. If not, she can contact me. Okay. Ouch. Shit. That was my knee. All right, let me switch to the camera. We're going to do a past life for Lisa. Come on, camera. Let's do a little bit of this really quick. Just let's do a little bit. The readings too, you guys, for those of you that are new and for those of you that maybe aren't necessarily new but you don't watch the daily forecast, you may want to watch the forecast this week because it looks really good. There's a lot of major arcana this week, both in the clarifiers and in the cards that we're representing for the days, even for tomorrow's reading. A lot of repeat cards and just sort of messages that look really sort of firm and important. So keep that in mind. I kind of feel like it could be a very interesting week for everybody involved. So you may want to check that out. Always hit the thumbs up button on any video you watch on YouTube, as long as you're enjoying it, obviously. But it greatly helps me out, so I always ask for that. It's a great way. And if you want to share out the stream, you feel free to do so. I don't mind that. Hey, Nora McCauley, how are you? All right, so let's get into Lisa's past life. So we have a D, which is a number 2, and an N, which is a number 3. Or I'm sorry, number 1. So we've got a total number of 3, right? 3s always make me think about, what's the word? Cooperation or kind of coming together. It also brings me to the space of the mind-body-spirit connection. The first thing that's kind of showing to me here is this woman. I feel like this is definitely you. I feel like the life that we're looking at here was feminine. I find it interesting that it's Mary. I don't necessarily associate this Mary with, say, Jerusalem, though. I feel like it was a time, I don't know if it's that period, but I feel like it might have been deserty in the sense that I feel like there was sand, that you were in like sort of gowns similar to this, but it wasn't necessarily biblical times, if that makes sense. Like I feel like it might have been even Middle Eastern, Bedouin in a way, sort of like, I don't know if gypsy-ish is the right word, but it sort of feels like that. Like I kind of feel like you were somebody that maybe traveled across great distances. I do feel like you were female. Let me just look at this. The snake here, the rubber cobra, is also making me feel kind of desert-y, that sort of area. It's taking me to that area. We have underneath here, this is the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is usually about letting go of a burden of some sort, letting go of carrying some sort of heavy burden that we no longer need or we no longer have to sort of put on our back. And then you got one of the new charms, which is the needle and thread, which to me, this makes me think of delicate work, intricacy, that kind of a thing, like that fine. Let me see here. I don't know why, but for some reason, all right, so the owl indicates the big knowledge or the big wisdom, right? And it's upside down and face down. I feel like there's some sort of giant miscommunication in this lifetime. I feel like there's something that was sort of, and part of the reason why I feel that is because the owl, which is the wisdom, which I think might be your wisdom, maybe you weren't able to communicate it or you weren't allowed to have it. It might have been due to the times. It might have been due to the fact that you were, say, a woman, so you weren't necessarily allowed to have that. The alien also makes me feel like there's a miscommunication, like a different dialect, a different area. I do get this feeling that you were a traveler of some sort, or you traveled in like a caravan, and that's why I feel like it's the desert. I do feel like you were female, and I feel like you moved with your people. Like you might have been a people that didn't necessarily feel as though you had a home. Your home was wherever you were. I also feel like this makes me feel like there was some sort of delicate kind of communication that needed to take place, and it couldn't quite happen. And that's where I get this sort of misfired communication, or this sort of not able to, between the alien and the troublesome sort of owl, coupled with the cobra too. The cobra makes me feel like the rubber snake is always kind of these sort of problems that we don't necessarily have to, they're problematic, right? But they're not necessarily horrible. To me, this feels worse than that in this reading. To me, this feels like something had to be let go of. That's the Ten of Wands. Something was not communicated clearly. And I also feel like this was a big struggle for this woman, or for you in this lifetime. I don't know if you took it on yourself. I kind of get a feeling that you might have taken it onto your own shoulders, or took responsibility for this inability to communicate, but I don't feel as though it was necessarily your fault, if that makes sense. I feel like, I'm not even sure if you weren't necessarily held somewhere. Like, I'm getting this funny feeling that like you might have been traveling with your tribe, and you may have found yourself in, like, say, foreign lands, or in some sort of area where there was a different tribe of people, a different sort of dialect, a different sort of, and I get a feeling it's almost, I don't like how this alien's hands are at her legs. I almost feel like there's a kidnapping happening where they take you away. And that's why it's also sort of a delicate situation. And I think that sort of you weren't able to kind of access your wisdom or your strength, because you knew that if you did, you wouldn't be able to be kept safe, so to speak. So you kind of went inward, is my feeling, or you felt like you took that burden of that onto your own shoulders. And and this is the weird thing, like in some weird way, I feel like this was a show of your strength that they couldn't touch, if that makes any sense. Like, in essence, she stands strong in the center of all of this kind of chaos, right? And the Ten of Wands indicates letting go of this sort of heavy burden, right? Wands would be the element of fire, action, desire, that sort of a thing. But the Ten of Wands could be the releasing of this burden with this sort of sinister kind of cobra on it, and this alien kind of grabbing at her. I kind of feel like there might have been scenarios in this lifetime, or some sort of situation that happened in this lifetime amongst these two tribes of desert people, where you got caught in the middle. And in the process of doing that, you may have been like sort of captured in some way, kidnapped in some way, something sort of strange. I feel like you were kept alive, though. I feel like it was your wits, your smarts, your intelligence, your like ability to remain peaceful that sort of kept you relatively okay, where you might have actually survived within this new tribe quite well, even though you didn't feel as though you had the freedom to be who you were, or to know what you know. You may be held back on your truths for your own preservation or well-being, right? Not that they could even understand you, is sort of the feeling that I get. Fours to me are also about stability, right? I always say there's four legs on a table. And so when I think about this, it's sort of like there is a stabilization where we have to, like when I'm looking at this Ten of Wands, right? And then this cobra slithering all over everything. And this four being on this black dice makes me feel like this was maybe a really kind of, the blackness makes me feel like it could have been dark. It could have been sinister at a point. But I kind of feel like this being Mary and her sort of standing here in her grace feels like, to me, you kept your cool, you kept your peace, you sort of maintained, you took kind of the burden onto your own shoulders in a way, and you remained strong and sort of quiet. You had all of this knowledge, but you held it back, or you sort of like didn't necessarily act upon it because you knew what sort of maybe needed to take place. And the sort of stabilizing the situation, and it being most delicate, right? Doing that kind of finer tuned work, tuning into, okay, what do I need to do to almost stay alive, is kind of what I feel like. But I do feel like at a certain point you were adopted into the new clan that maybe kidnapped you. And even though you didn't necessarily know how to speak to them or communicate with them, it was like your sort of smarts or your intelligence, whatever it was, is what really kept you maybe alive during crucial moments in this lifetime. Let me look at what these say. This says, when you are grateful for what you have, more will come into your life. It's so chipped off. I'm going to get rid of these because the thing, but I like that. And this is up here. And I think that this is some of the grace that we see that Mary sort of represents, you know, even though she's more biblical in the period. I'm not sure if this is during that time, but I kind of feel like, I don't feel like this is like Bethlehem, Israel, but I do feel like that I see like the long, not robes, but like, I don't know if you call them gowns, but kind of like how people in the Middle East may dress, right? Like a burqa, but it's not really a burqa, but it's that desert dwelling sort of clothing. So I think that fits for this lifetime. I don't know that it's this old. I'm not exactly sure when. I just sort of feel like I'm out in the desert. I feel like things are desolate. It's not modern times. There's not like cell phones, computers. There's not even telephones or cars. It's like everybody's on horses or pack animals of some sort, kind of thing, and moving through these areas. And I feel like also too, it's not just the people that maybe were treacherous. It was like also the environment could have been treacherous too. So knowing that whatever happened to your clan, whether you were kidnapped, I feel like you were taken away from them or like removed from a situation, whatever maybe happened to them, you had to sort of readjust and think about how to navigate this situation in a way that called upon your strength, your intelligence, but it was also about withholding sort of maybe who you knew yourself to be, how you knew yourself to be, what you had learned throughout your life, because it was so sort of foreign or different to this other tribe. So let's see what this one says. This is wisdom, and it's also flipped over. And so again, it's mirroring what this owl says, which is, this is what I always refer to as the big wisdom, this owl charm. He's flipped over and turned upside down. It's like we kind of had to shut everything down to maybe stay alive in this lifetime. I know that sounds kind of bleak, but what I want to say about this is I'm thinking, okay, so what is the message here for Lisa in all of this? And to me, what really pulls my attention in all of this is the strength and grace, the peace that Mary retains, even in the midst of something so sort of chaotic and disruptive in one's lifetime, right? With limited resources, you found sort of resources within that you held like in stores, right? That's kind of what this owl would represent to me. It's just like this sort of strength from within that allowed you to adapt to a situation that most people, you know, would have been overwhelmed by or freaked out by, or would have made the wrong decision or the wrong move or the wrong statement, or tried to run and maybe gotten yourself, you know, harmed. I don't feel like she was harmed. I feel like she was actually able to sort of exist in this other tribe. I don't think that it was the easiest lifetime, right? In the sense that I feel like the communication or the lack thereof required you to also still turn more inward, depend on who you were and what you knew. And you sort of didn't shelve what you knew, but you stored it deep within yourself and used that sort of as a source of strength, as a source of intelligence, as a source of grace in a way that sort of kept you alive. And I think that you actually maybe stayed with this new tribe for quite some time, is my feeling. You may have even, I almost don't even get a bad feeling. Like, I don't think that you were, and I never want to predict any like horrible sort of thing, but I don't feel like she had a bad ending is the feeling that I get. Like when this life came to an end, I think that it was, there's like a piece that I feel with this charm in particular, where I feel like she was, even in a situation that felt completely out of her control, she was able to control it from within the center of it all, if that makes any sense at all. It was like through her intelligence, through her grace, through her ability to sort of be almost observant, maybe receptive, adaptive, all of those things brought Unbreakable under even the most stressful situations that have certainly gave wisdom to turn over in the current life. That's what I feel like that's about. And so I almost feel like you were adopted into this new clan, whether you wanted to be or not. It wasn't a question. It was about like this being in the desert. You couldn't be turned out to the environment either. So at a certain point, like enough time progresses, your tribe is either moved on or dissipated, they couldn't stay for you, whatever. And so you had to adapt. And so in adapting, you kept your culture, your wisdom, your intelligence, or what you knew to be true. You kept that sort of more within, and you did the best that you could to be sort of gracious and handled this delicately. This 10 of Wands to me is feeling like the letting go of any sort of resentment or hatred towards these people for however this transpired, and sort of moving to this state of grace while you were in the midst of this. As you did this, was it the most ideal situation? Maybe not necessarily, but you were able to adapt, and you were able to sort of like almost rely solely on your own wits, your own skill set, and all of that. And it carried you through, and it actually got you much further than maybe, say, one would expect, or what was sort of maybe originally intended for anybody in the situation, is kind of the feeling I get. And because of that, there's this level of strength within you, an internal, like maybe even dialogue or wisdom that I think that you should probably listen to, because to me, this voice was very strong and it was very much personal to you. That's kind of, I don't even think that this is a bad thing. I feel like this is actually all of the wisdom of her lifetime with her home tribe, or her home set of culture and all of that. This is all hers, and hers alone. She kept it to herself. Not only do we have this wisdom here, but we also have this wisdom here. So she had this sort of like this, exactly like you said, Lisa, it's like this strength of who she was that is unbreakable, right? It doesn't even take, like, even a situation that feels so sort of outside of our control that most people would kind of maybe fall to or be crumbled under. In this lifetime, you did not. You adapted, and you took what you knew to be true, and you kind of held it within yourself to empower you, versus, how do I want to say this? Like, if this was like a more mouthy character, or like, say if this was the Kali charm that's in there, right? If Kali was here, I would have thought, it'd be more like you fought your whole way. You screamed your wisdom and tried to, prove your point, but that probably would have gotten you killed. And that's the sort of grace and strength that I feel like this Mary represents, is that your ability to sort of maybe withhold or adapt really saved you and strengthened you in some way, shape, or form. And again, we're talking about a connection of the number 3, which to me thinks of the mind, body, spirit. And when I'm looking at Mary, she's certainly spiritual, right? And we see her in body, standing here centered and in her body. And then the mind would be all of this wisdom stuff going on. So there is this sort of balance between the 3 of, okay, how do I bring all of these components together to kind of thrive in a situation that feels far outside of my control? And in doing that, you have to weave delicately. That's the needle and thread. That's that sort of intricacy of following the steps and doing what, intuitively may feel right, or what's going to keep you sort of in the good graces of these people that maybe you don't understand fully, or they don't understand you. So instead of trying to convince them to understand you, it's like just letting that go. And I feel like that's where she sort of stands alone. I feel like in this lifetime, you maybe never even learned this language, or never, you know what I mean? Like the communication feels very solitary in the last part of this life for you, where you might have sort of adapted to their customs in a way, but never really truly became them in a sense. And so I feel like you lived out your existence until passing. I don't want to say comfortably, but I want to say like with some level of grace. Because it was almost like, even though the situation was sort of outside of your control, what you could do within those circumstances, she chose by setting this aside, or not aside, but like putting it. Do you see what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense, because I can feel it as I'm like trying to voice it into words. I feel like even though everything felt outside of your control, what you could choose in this life, you chose wisely. And you did from a state of strength and purpose, even at a time when maybe women weren't I don't want to say women weren't that strong, but like it could have easily gone other ways, is the way that I sort of feel this life was. Like, I feel like let's just be honest, like it was probably dangerous in the very beginnings of you first reaching this other tribe. And so your odds of not surviving it were very high, but you knew that on some level. So you adapted and you did what you needed to do to sort of stay alive, if that makes sense. Early bird charmings, exactly. It's like early dinner theater in the Adirondacks, Andrew. Andrew just arrived, guys. So we're doing early bird charmings, yes, the 6 p.m. special, free with a free baked potato and a tortoise on the side. So yeah, survival mode. But see, to me, Lorraine says survival mode. But what I get from this is that it's actually not survival mode because there's a grace to Mary. There's a strength and there's a wisdom to her that I feel like most people would have gone into survival mode, probably panicked and ended up dead. It's sort of the feeling that I get. And this is not that. This is about her going sort of inward and adapting intelligently in a way where she was still able to maintain some modicum or sense of self, yet adapt to a volatile situation and carry herself through much longer than would have normally been expected. That's my feeling with this. Yeah, I thought I'd get on early today because I'm just so tired, Andrew. And we have not discussed Drag Race yet. So you need to figure that one out because we need to talk Queens soon here. What does that say? Why does that what? No, show? What is show what? Show no show. Wait, oh no. I don't want to block user on YouTube. What's going on? What did I just hit? Oh, that's kind of cool. So it shows the comments on the oh, weird. I didn't know I could do that. And then hide is hide. Oh, interesting. Yes. So look at what I just figured out I could do. Lorraine Campbell said, Campoli McDonald says, strong, wise woman. Exactly. Although she didn't necessarily have all of the, let's say, the amenities of being a strong, wise woman, right? She was more of like, honestly, if I'm being completely like transparent, she was kind of held captive for the first few years. It was not a pleasant experience, but she adapted and she used her intelligence in a way that kept her alive. So let's take that down. And then Lisa says over here, I like it. And that's Lisa over on YouTube. Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. I like that I can do this with the screen. I didn't know I could do this. That's kind of cool. So I can tap your guys' comments on and off. Oh my God, I feel like a newscaster. Oh, what's this next comment? So Vicky says, hello, Lisa. Interesting past life. You are full of wisdom. Indeed, she is. And I want to say this too. I love that you got one of the newest charms on my charm haul video. I love this charm because it's just a needle and thread. And to me, I initially bought this for the delicate work of like weaving. And that's what I feel like she did. Like through her intelligence is weaved away through this sort of this treacherousness of whatever was going on. And this, I want to say this too, during the time of this lifetime and the place and in the culture, this was not uncommon. I mean, you look at like historical movies of like Vikings where they raided villages and took women or that sort of a thing. And I feel like that's what this sort of story was about. It was not uncommon for this to kind of happen back then. Whether or not you were able to stay alive as a captive was, remains to be seen. In this lifetime, you did it and you did it quite well. Because I feel like Mary is exalted in a way, right? She is this graceful figure. And so for this charm to come out and her to be sort of upright, standing almost straight up and down in the center, it really shows that you kind of were centered through all of this and as grounded as you could be and as graceful and kind of connected as you could stay, much more so. And look at here, I love this. Mary Lyman says, see, now you can participate, Dan. I don't know who Dan is, but yeah. Lisa's over, Mary, see, and then I can show you guys this. This is Mary over on Facebook going, Lisa Vanderhelm, question mark. She's over on YouTube. I love that I can do this. Oh my God. I appreciate all of this. Oh wait, are they all showing them? Wait, oh no, I just hit that one. I need to hide it. You're welcome, Elisa. All right, so let me stop doing that because that's like now got my attention. Mary Lyman. You're so dumb, Mary. I love it. Mary Lyman says Desert Storms. Thank you for your service, Lisa Vanderhelm. Oh my God. This is her reading. Yes, Mary. Mary's asking over on Facebook if this is your reading. All right. So if you need to take a picture of it, Lisa, let me know. If not, we can clear it and then I can go. You can see Facebook and YouTube? Does it show you everything over there, Lisa? Hey, Jen Nichols. Does it show every comment over there, Lisa? Because I just assumed that you could only see the YouTube comments, and I assume Facebook can only see the Facebook comments. Can you all see every comment from each platform? I just assumed you guys were separated. Desert Strong. Desert Storm Strong. You're so funny, Mary. When you pop up the message, oh yeah, no, yeah, okay, that's right. No, you can see them. No, I know that, but like you can't see them when they're commenting in the chat. See, I have a chat running where I can see everybody in each platform all in one chat room. I wish they could do that across platforms so you guys could see what everybody's saying. But you guys can't see it like right now when I'm not hitting the show button. Oh, but Lisa says, I did serve in Desert Storm, though. Yes, you did, girl. Not only in this lifetime, but in that one, too. You were already prepared. All right. Okay, so Jen Nichols, do you want your charming dear? I love that I can tap that. So if I see, actually the cool thing is now when I'm doing like card readings for groups, when people are like, can I go, I can hit their comment and put it up on the screen so we know who's getting read. That's going to make it a little bit smoother. So people, when they come into the room, they won't be like, is this my reading? Because I totally relate to this. It sounds like you're talking to me. I could be like, no, it's the lady on the screen. So Mary says she got Lisa's screenshot, so I'm going to clear this board. Thank you, Lisa and Mary. Thank you for making me laugh. All right. So Jen Nichols, are you here or available? If you're not, that's okay. It doesn't have to be today. We still have, I want to say like 2 more Sundays, right? We have the 24th and the 31st. So if you don't cash in today, that's completely fine. And it is early, and I know you have your family, so there's no rush on any of that. If not, I could go to some card readings. If you guys want, I could do a couple more card readings for people. Since I already have the camera up, I just need to move the charm box. But as long as I get like at least one of the Patreon people done, I feel like I've accomplished something, you know? So I'll just sit here quietly until you guys make a decision. Oh, wait, I want to get a private reading this week. Okay, that's fine, Jen. So I'm going to close this unless anybody wants a charming. Nobody wants to purchase a charming? Going once, going twice. And this is charmings for purchase, guys, not for free. So charmings are $25. They're already discounted because they're live on camera. So that's why they're a little bit cheaper online, because they can be viewed by the public later. So they're not completely private. But Kate's asking, could I have a charm reading, please? Are you wanting to buy one, Kate? That's what I'm asking, because I'm not doing charmings for free on Sundays. They're being given to the Patreon subscribers that subscribe at the highest level. They subscribe, and so they get a free charming once a month. So that's why these people, it looks like they might be getting them for free, but they've actually technically paid because they subscribe to my Patreon channel. So I can maybe do cards for you if you wanted something for free, but the charmings are paid on Sundays. Does that make sense? So if you want to purchase a charming, I can send out the link so you can do so. And I'll leave the charming board up. If you're not interested, then we can just go into cards and then I'll just choose people and do some free readings for folks really quick. I have to be careful when you do the past life stuff because all kinds of things start coming up to me. Exactly, right, Lisa? I get kind of weird too because it's weird to me because I sort of feel like I see it and I feel it in my body, and it's really weird because it's not mine, yet it feels really like obvious. And then I'm like, wait, what is this that I'm looking at? Because I feel it in my body. It's really kind of weird. But I mean, I think that like all of us, if you believe in reincarnation too, that's the interesting thing. A lot of us have sort of shared experience throughout many lifetimes, I believe. So I think that we're more, oh wow, there's a butterfly like right outside my window as I'm saying this. I believe that we are more connected than we understand, even through experiences. Like somebody may have experienced something like Lisa, right? Lisa's past life, but you may have experienced something in a different part of the world, at a different, era, in a different body, but sort of, the experiences could have been the same, or the feelings, or whatever. So I think that's how I'm able to tap into these past life experiences. I don't know. It's really strange. And I think that there's certain things that just kind of happen on the planet as we incarnate all over the world through different, eras of life. It's sort of interesting to me. Happy to see you. Oh, let's highlight some comments. Yes, thanks for confirmation of that. You're welcome, Lisa. So Jen says, happy to see you on so early. I feel like that with the past lives too. It's helped me ground some emotions I've had and not understood. And I think that's the whole point of it, is exactly how Jen describes it. Like that it helps us to sort of look at stuff that could be maybe, I don't want to say unresolved, but could be still working in our energetic body that we can shift into very easily. Like if we feel threatened or challenged, or it may drum up some of those pictures from that past life. And so when we're aware about those sort of things, it's not so much about the accuracy of where it was or whatever. It's about the feelings around the emotions and the reactions and all of that we're talking about. We can then sort of disengage them or become like aware of them, so we can become in acceptance of them. And then, they don't necessarily trigger us, or we don't react to them unknowingly. We can kind of, you know what I mean? That's sort of the power of it. And Lisa says, yes, I strongly resonate with that, Jennifer. It's true. Jen Nichols has got it on the money. All right. So I think Kate Heyman is not necessarily looking for a charming. So I'm going to close this, guys. And that's fine. It's okay. They're always available on Sundays if you ever do want to purchase one. I'm going to move the charm box really quick and get my list off. This is how I maintain. This is the smart bookkeeping system that I have. A series of checks on a ratty old notepad about whether or not it's, so that I can make sure that everybody gets their charming each month. So I know who's getting them and who's not too. And then let me take these off. Excuse me 1 second. Hi guys, what are you doing? What are you doing, booger butt? Oh, what time is it? It's not time yet, right? Oh no, it's only 1:30. God, it feels later. Okay. I swear to God, I'm like in a time warp. Hi, babe. I'm just gonna do simple card readings tonight, like not anything too major. We'll do like kind of what we did the last time, if that's okay, where I'll do like maybe a past, present, future, and then a little bit of clarifiers, if that works for everybody. Have a great day, Jen. Thank you. Jen Nichols is going to play in the snow now. Have a great day, everyone. Yeah, I thought I was maybe even more ahead of you, Vicky. Not today. I'm not going to. Mary Lyman asks, am I going to play Let me show you guys. Are you going to play with your chakra crystals? No, but I will show you this, Mary. Look at, I showed this to everybody. I think you came in late. But behind me, if you look right behind me, can you see it? Let me see here. Here is, I've been working on setting them all up. So they are here in their new home. They're all hanging there on their respective hooks. I have a few more that I have to do because I have hooks underneath here too. So they all have their home, all the different pendulums, instead of laying loose on the table, kind of in disarray. And I'm not talking about disarray, the stripper disarray. Girl, get down from there. Get off that pole, disarray. I'm talking about actual disarray, like a messy life. So I'm trying to clean up my desk. Okay, let me hide that comment. New messages. So, all right, so we're going to do this. So Christina Avalo says, me please, it's been a long time. All right, so let's do Christina. And now oh my God, Lorraine, be careful. Fooey on winter. All right, so let me switch cameras really quick. Okay. All right. Is today Mary's birthday? No, it's Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday the 19th. Isn't that your birthday? I think Tuesday is your birthday. All right, so we're going to start for Christina for her past, present, future. What does Christina need to know? Hey, Tammy Sylvester. How are you hiding over there on YouTube? Tammy, look what I can do. Do you see on the screen? I can post comments up on the screen. I didn't know this. We figured this out this afternoon. I hope you're having a good Sunday. See, I can do this. Look at this. This is great. I can show this. Fess up, Mary. So Mary can see your comments if she's over on Facebook and you're on YouTube. All right, what does Christina need to know? Let's see here. For her past, present, and future. We have, for the past, we have the Nine of Pentacles. For the present, we have the Five of Pentacles. For the future, we have the Magician. Okay, so I'm going to say this right out of the gate. It looks like in the past, we felt a little bit more self-assured. Money was a little bit less of an issue. Right now, things might feel a little bit skint or like you're having a little bit of troubles. I would say possibly financial troubles or worries about money, jobs, things like that. Things maybe don't feel as abundant as they were in the past. I love the Nine of Pentacles because she represents to me like sheer independence, right? She doesn't need anything or anybody. She kind of can rely on herself. Here, it's not that we can't rely on ourselves. We know that we can. And I like that she's in the past because it's the memory of this period of time that gets us through the harder times that we might be going through now in the present. If you look at the Five of Pentacles, it's kind of like this family that's out in the snow and they're kind of freaking out. But the Five is always to me about change. So it's a temporary card in the sense that although things might feel rough or hard right now, or maybe that they're not working out exactly the way you want, it's going to change. And the reason why it's going to change is the Magician. So the Magician to me is all about sort of taking action, creativity, making things happen, moving sort of mountains or, creating magic in a way to get ourselves back on top and feel empowered again, even more so than we did in the past, right? Because he's even stronger to me than I would consider the Nine of Pentacles. He has more of a capacity to kind of go out and use his skill set to make exactly what he wants and needs. So I'm going to shuffle really quick just for clarifiers. If I see anything that stands out, Christina, as far as the clarifiers are concerned, I'll talk about it. But let's just clarify these really quick just to see if there's anything else that needs to be told. I'm just going to try and fire through some of these too, because it's sort of, this looks like a very obvious trajectory to me. It's like we were good, things aren't great right now, but things are going to get better than we even expected, is sort of the feeling that I'm getting from these cards. So, and I would say that this would be around money, finances. It could be career stuff. It's material stuff with those 2 Pentacles cards here, right? But the Magician, he's about, all of the elements. So he could even represent, the creation of something new, some new avenue, like a new thing that you could come up with that you haven't otherwise done, if that makes any sense. So on the 9 of Pentacles, we have the Empress, which I love that. That's very much in line, having everything and needing everything that we need. She's all about creativity too. She's about fertility, connection to nature, the planet Venus. So things were in line and good. We have the 3 of Cups, again, totally about celebration, family being in line, feeling connected to loved ones, all of that, emotionally feeling like buoyant and happy. And then we have the King of Wands. So it's kind of like, I see it, I want it, I go get it. That's the independence that we see in the 9 of Pentacles. Wands being also the fire element, the spirit, feeling really complete. Like this was like a bang on time for you, is my feeling. Only you will know when this was in your past, Christina, but to me, it's bang on. Right? It's really this was like really a beautiful time for you. So let's go to the 5 of Pentacles now. We have the 9 of Pentacles. This to me now says that we're reflecting back, and we see that by seeing this card here, right? In our past, we're kind of measuring our now by our past, and that's why we see this. But what I think about this is I kind of feel like this 9 of Pentacles is what's hopefully driving this family or you through on the hopes that you are going to get here. Does that make sense? And so I like that she is here because it's the memory of this period, because it was so strong for you, that is going to make you surpass or go beyond not only this and create something new, but it's also what's getting you through the now, right? You need to remember sort of how strong and capable you have been in the past and where you've done the right things for the right reasons, so to speak. And as you've done that, what that brought to you and how accomplished that felt. Even if things aren't feeling like they're working out totally for you right now, and it could be outside influences that are bugging you a little bit, know that like when you dwell upon this part of who you were, it's not even who you were, it's really kind of who you are. It's just right now you're trying to maybe reconnect to that, but you have to go through a little bit of change and maybe a little bit of strife or struggle to get there. But I like that she's showing up here because it says to me that this period is having an effect on the now in what I feel to be a positive way. Like I feel like her presence here is actually carrying you through. Let's go to the High Priestess. Again, spiritual information, another strong female. I'll say that right out of the gate. She is also Major Arcana. She would be kind of like, let me say this, like if he and her got together, they would have her as the love child, maybe in a way. She's a bit secretive. She can be Piscean energy, very much intuitive, very much about how do I navigate this. Right now, I will say this though, sometimes she can be so secretive that it feels like the unknown, where it's like, oh shit, what do I do? I'm not sure what to do. I like that you have 2 strong females here, even though you're going through maybe what would appear to be a hard time right now. You are trying to rely on yourself. You might be trying to tap your intuition and the information isn't coming out so clearly or as clearly as you would like or as clearly as it has in the past. Right? And because of that, it might make you feel like you're on shakier ground than you really actually are. She is a pillar card, right? You see this black and white, these pillars here. She's a very strong card, although she doesn't necessarily divulge everything right up front. So we may not feel like we have all of the answers we need to navigate whatever we're struggling with right now, but we can get through there. And ultimately the answers will come. We just have to kind of be patient and faithful, and they will come. And then we have the Queen of Cups. I love it. Strong run of females through here, right? I love this run of female energy. Cups can be emotional. So, and she's the queen. Queen also represents the suit of cups, right? So it's cups upon cups, really. So it can be emotions upon emotions. But I always associate her with love. Yes, she can be moody. Yes, she can be kind of, I really think it depends on which way you're focusing. Are we focusing on staying grounded and centered and getting our way through this? Or are we freaking out a little bit about about feeling like we don't have all the answers just yet, and we're trying to pull them from within. Either way, I think that it's all going to work out ultimately. Keeping that focus of love or positivity is going to be what serves you best. It's going to lead you to this Magician. This is your future card, and we'll look at the clarifiers. But I feel like all of this sort of feminine power will sort of, bring you through and get you to this state of creativity again. So let's look at what the Magician has to, how he has to clarify. The Nine of Wands, there could be some boundaries that need to be drawn, especially after whatever it is you're working through here. This could even be, it doesn't necessarily have to be financial. This could be a departure from, say, even maybe a relationship. It could be, split friendships, things like that, that you have to like leave from or separate yourself from. They may not be helping you in any way, shape, or form. And I get that information now because I'm looking at him, and he's sort of, if you look at the very art of the card, see how his face is, he's got that bandage. He's been harmed or hurt. And I feel like this period has been more stressful for you than maybe you want to acknowledge or realize. And as I watch this family depart in this card and he reflects back, I feel like we have to put up those boundaries in place that enable sort of the stable foundation for the Magician to do his work, right? The nines are about personal completion. So to me, this would be about really setting ourselves free from whatever this current situation that we might be struggling with, whatever that's drawing up within us. We want to kind of put that baby to rest at some level. We have the Hanged Man. Hanged Man is also major arcana, also Piscean energy. It's interesting that it hits right around the same time that the High Priestess is here. Again, we might still find ourselves struggling with our intuition or trusting ourselves. The Hanged Man is always about kind of feeling a little bit stuck, a little bit unable to make a decision. Ultimately, what we have there is he has that illumination around his head. He will get there. You have to have faith. This might be some of the clarity around the boundaries that we draw or the things that we kind of put an ending to moving forward. We may have to do that and struggle with this a little bit to get to this state of feeling empowered again to create. But ultimately, this is your future. So even if it's, how do I want to say this, maybe a little bit slow to go in the beginnings, let it kind of unfold, right? And then the last is the Emperor. Love it. So the Emperor to me is Aries energy. It's about action. It's about fire. I love that he mimics the King of Wands over here. The Emperor is kind of like all of the kings personified in one ruler, right? But that's kind of how I perceive him. He's like the big daddy of the deck. But he's about doing the right things for the right reasons, not cutting corners. He's always got a benevolence to him, but he has high expectations, is that sort of the way that I interpret him. And so when I look at this, it's like we're not going to sort of skimp or what's the word? My dogs are snoring right under the desk. Sorry. We're not going to cheat ourselves out of this experience, whatever it may be, because it's going to make the creation and the magic that is in the Magician and the power that is there all the more worthwhile. Yes, it might be a little bit of a hard journey. You're experiencing that now, but if you rely on the strength of who you are, how you feel, what you know intuitively, even if it isn't quite super clear, and who you were too in the past is still who you are, bring that up, reflect upon that, and start to bring that energy into whatever you're dealing with now. It's going to allow you to change and transform. The expectations will be high for you, right? Your own personal expectations of yourself. But as you adhere to them and you get clarity and you work on building upon that clarity with that strong sort of desire and almost placing yourself first, you will find yourself in this place of being able to create what you need, how you need it, when you need it. Okay? That is what I see for you, Christina. All right, so that is your reading, dear. I hope that makes sense. And let's see here. Hold on, I gotta. So Lisa is wishing Mary a happy birthday. And then Tammy says she is celebrating her non-birthday. And then Mary says, don't push the candles before it's time. Like a fine wine, let it age, let it age. Oh, it's okay. So you can see this. Vicky's over there telling you, sorry, Mary, I thought today was your birthday. It's January 19th, Tuesday. Enjoy. You're fine, Vicky. Let's see here. Awesome, Christina. And whatever you're struggling with right now, just whatever that may be, right? I want you to know that that family is moving through that snowstorm. And so change always can feel disruptive and kind of uncomfortable. But I love that the family is sort of moving through the snowstorm, meaning that you're not going to stay there long, is kind of the feeling that I get. So, and I love that Nine of Pentacles, she shows up there, meaning like she's kind of that strength that you've had in the past can get you through this. So you just have to remember that as you move through this time right now. Jen DiFiore, you want a reading? Are you still here, Jen? Sorry, I was going through the earlier comments because I figured out how to post to the video. I feel like I'm on my own news channel now. Like, I love this. I'm so excited. And the best part is it's probably been here forever and I've just never noticed it. Okay, so we're going to do Jen's reading. All right, so we're going to do past, present, future for Jen. See what she needs to know. Give me one moment. What does Jen need to know about present and future? So for your past, you have the Ace of Cups. For your present, you have the Eight of Cups. And for your future is the Queen of Wands. Interesting. This to me feels similar, actually. Like, I'm going to say this. I feel like you feel like you're in a similar place to Christina, but emotionally is where you're at with this, right? Because we have the Ace of Cups. I mean, we're going to clarify this in a moment, but the way that I saw the trajectory here, where there was Miss Independence here for Christina's, right? For you, Jen, this feels like emotional, not overload, but abundance, right? This is like being high on cloud nine is the best way to describe it. Emotionally feeling like fit, overflowing, my cup runneth over, being maybe in love, being able to experience that love, excited by that love. It could represent that, right? But whatever it is, maybe it's this zest or love for life, this zeal, this it's just overpowering, right? But in a good way, right? When we see this Eight of Cups, so to me, the Eight of Cups always signifies there's a gentleman walking away, right? He's sort of leaving a situation. Emotionally, he needs to maybe leave to maintain balance. And this sort of also has that kind of feeling of the Five of Pentacles where they're sort of moving through the snowstorm. I don't feel like there's a snowstorm or maybe a drama here. There's just like a decision that's been made in the present that, you know what, this may not be working for me anymore like it used to. Right. And it's interesting that, and this is why I say you feel this more emotionally right now, because we have the Ace of Cups and then the Eight of Cups. So cups would be water and the emotions. So emotionally, we're maybe not going through it, because I don't feel like this is a going through it card. I feel like you might have, like in this empty space here would have been when we were going through it. Here is like the further back past when things were really on fire in a good way and feeling really connected and wonderful. And here is like, okay, I've gone through maybe the sadness or the loss or whatever's not right, dealt with the struggles. And now I'm kind of okay with it. And I'm like ready to depart or move away from whatever this may be. Now on this side here, what I like about this, Queen of Wands is sort of your future. And again, this feels empowered to me, similar to the Magician. Yet the Queen of Wands is about what I call the Beyonce card. I coined that with from MJ Cullinane, who's a great reader. She calls this the Beyonce card. And I love that because she's unabashedly like sort of feminine. She takes everything that is talented about her in her femininity and uses it to her advantage. And I feel like that's how I see the Queen of Wands, in the sense that she'll use her intelligence, her talents, her sexuality, her wisdom, all of those sort of things to kind of work things out in her favor, even if it means a little bit of manipulation. And I don't mean manipulating in a bad way. What I mean is that the Queen of Wands knows the rules and then goes about finding ways to sort of break them or bend them to her advantage. And she's about taking action. She's about going after what she wants. She has a definite like spiritual connection that would be reflected in the black cat. She has a kind kind of a connection even to the dark side in a way. Not that she's dark-sided or a bad person. It's just she knows the ins and outs of all kinds of different situations. Therefore, she knows how to work those situations to her advantage, right? So I feel like this is going from a state of being we'll look at the clarifiers on this, but I want to say feeling like elated, really on top of the world, to going through maybe some sort of, I don't want to say tragedy, but I just feel like this is definitely it's almost like we're in the state of recovery after the loss, if that makes sense, and making the decision to move away, because this does not feel like super messy to me. This feels like the decision has been made. And then this is like sort of like, now we look to the future. And if actually, it's funny, right as I said that, I looked at her face. She's totally looking to the future, and as far as I'm concerned, because anytime a card is heading this way, they're like, even him, they're moving towards the future, right? Because when I do my readings, everything to the right as I'm looking feels like the future. I don't know why, but that's how it is for me. All right, so let's look at the clarifiers and see what they have to say. Jen says, I love this kind of news compared to the other news out there currently. Exactly. Well, I love that I can just do these little banners on the screen. I didn't know I could. I think it's kind of cool. Let's clarify the Ace of Cups, the Eight of Cups, and the Queen of Wands, please. Hey, Leslie West Salisbury, how are you, dear? Okay. Let's see what we've got going on. So for the Ace of Cups, we've got the Five of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, and the Magician. So Five of Swords can indicate a hard-won loss, or like a win, but it came at it's like a bittersweet win, right? To me, it's sort of like there's a struggle there. Something doesn't necessarily work out. Three of Pentacles would be about sort of coming together in, what's the word I'm looking for? Cooperation in a way, and sort of being, reaching higher levels through the help of others. And then the Magician would be about that sort of unbridled creativity. But I don't know. I get a weird, like, Jen, I'm going to go down this road and just give me a yes or no if it makes sense. But I kind of feel like this might be a relationship or something. I don't know why. I feel like this is sort of your partner. I feel like this is how you felt about this partner in the past. Like you were in love with them. You cared about them very deeply. I feel like the Magician could be somebody that sort of maybe is a little bit egoic, maybe a little bit narcissistic. I feel like there's times when you guys are good together with the Three of Pentacles here, but there's also times where it's a very big extreme struggle, like it's back and forth. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. I also feel like sometimes the burden that is left behind by this Magician might be left upon you and other people within the family. So this Three of Pentacles could be not necessarily you and this person, but you and maybe, say, I don't know, other members of the family that have to kind of hold everything up in the wake of this person and their behavior. This doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partner, but I'm not sure if it's not. Like because the Ace of Cups makes me want to go to that state of romance, but this also feels very familial to me, the Three of Pentacles. So it could be that it's just sort of like their behavior. Maybe they think of themselves only first. And so in doing so, it creates sort of some of this havoc, and some of what was once magical and wonderful isn't necessarily anymore. And that's kind of the feeling that I get about this decision of the Eight of Cups. If it's relating to your work, that's fine. And that might be the case. You've got to tell me, because I'm not necessarily sure exactly what's going on, but ideally, whatever it was, we felt like we were on cloud nine. We felt like this was the new thing. This was going to be the thing that was going to bring us the emotional sort of happiness. At first, at least that was the initial reaction to it. I feel like it's been a bit more of a struggle, and that it's not all horrible or bad, but sometimes we have to hold up for the rest of the burden for somebody else, is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. Bye, Christina. Have a good day at work. So I don't know if that makes sense. Let's go to the Eight of Cups and see what's going on with the Eight of Cups. So Eight of Cups is the Ace of Pentacles, the Star, and the Five of Cups. So to me, this is indicating like maybe moving towards something new. Are you considering like getting a different job then? Like, is your job that bad that you need to leave? Hold on, I can't see all the comments. Show. I climbed to the top of my career and loved it so much, then chose to walk away from that career path. And you did that choice recently? Because it looks like something new is opening up with this Ace of Pentacles, and it's going to be more peaceful with the Star. But the Five of Cups is there is this sort of longing for what you once had, because this Ace to me feels very strong. So the Five of Cups would indicate like kind of looking to, you know, what was lost and feeling this sort of remorse around that currently. It doesn't feel super emotional. It feels like we've kind of come to terms and we're moving on. The Queen of Wands gives me promise though, right? She excites me in the sense that I feel like she'll be able to create something more. And I feel like, I don't know if this is a boss or a coworker, but I feel like this is a person outside of you. Not necessarily, the major arcanas don't necessarily come up as people outside of you. They usually are aspects of ourselves, but to me this feels like somebody outside, maybe an overbearing boss or somebody that was like a pain in the ass, kind of the feeling that I get. So Jen says here, let me just highlight that because I don't know if the people on YouTube can see. She says, yes, I'm choosing to pursue opening a business in a different path. I think that it's going, that's what this is the opening of that business. And I think the Star represents the bringing on of that peace, right? There is a little bit of mourning with this Five of Cups, right? This sort of sadness, but we do have the idea that we can create this again. And this is sort of what's similar to kind of Christina's reading. So let's look at the Queen of Wands. So we have the Four of Swords, which would be introspection, kind of not listening to outside voices, going inward and finding our own sort of thoughts around a situation or how we want this to unfold and which way we want to take it. The Eight of Pentacles, which would be about doing the detailed work, bringing our own spin to this, really putting ourselves into this work, dedicating ourselves to it and doing like, you know, dotting our I's and crossing our T's, really making it happen. And then the Queen of Swords, she would be about truth, honesty, definitive thinking, keeping ourselves very clear about what we want. I also love that she's seated facing directly to the future, right? So there's a clarity to her. I love that all of this is about, like, even this Four of Swords means like keep a clear mind, remember to pause, take breaks. The Queen of Wands is going to lead you in a way that will be sort of driven, I don't want to say reactive, but like moving. Maybe there might be a desire to move rather quickly, but keeping a clear mind and doing the, you know, small, don't forget to do the small stuff. That's the Eight of Pentacles. But all of this sort of feels like it portends to something being ideally well planned out, well thought out, honest, practical. We see that in the Pentacles. I even like the Four Swords because fours represent sort of stability to me. So those taking those moments of downtime to kind of clear our mind, get clear on what we want next, even maybe be a little bit meditative around this, and then acting with that clarity and the strength and the desire of the queens, this truth and honesty here and the desire here will kind of, you know, bring it about or be what sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, like compels you forward into the creation of all of this. Wait, what? Hold on. Yes, I'm choosing to. Okay, a narcissistic asshole. Okay, so then that's. I feel like that's who that is. The magician is not necessarily a bad card, but sometimes he comes off very egoic. Like I'll look at him and I'll go, "Oh, you're in your ego today, magician," and that's kind of how I feel this card is. So I'm not going to put that comment up there because you said asshole, which I'm fine with, but I don't know if I put it up on the screen if I'll get in trouble with YouTube or Facebook. So I'm gonna not put it up on the screen, but. That's kind of how I feel that this is. Like he's sort of raising his hand and almost yelling at me like to get things done. And it's just like, I don't need this. I'm moving on. And you're moving on to something better. Like I really believe that. The Star is one of my favorite cards of the deck. She indicates that sort of like peace, that calm, that sort of knowing that we all sort of seek within ourselves. Wow, only 4 viewers. Cleared the room, guys. All right, I think that is going to be it. I am going to go and have the rest of my day. I'm going to go nap some more. I don't know what my problem is. I need to stop napping. It's just such a lazy day today. I feel really like foggy brained. Must be this Piscean moon. Good, Jen. I'm glad you liked that reading. All right, you guys. I will talk to you guys later. I might be on later this week. Follow all of the socials and stuff so that you can get notified. Hopefully I'll be shaven by then and not quite so, I don't know, rough looking. You're welcome, Jen. You're very, very welcome. Thank you very much. You guys have a good day. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Lisa, for getting your charming today. And I will talk to you guys later. All right. Have a good day. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye.